Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you, wherever you are in this great big world, whatever dimension you're from, whatever portal you just came out of, not unlike Dale and I in our little cartoon there at the beginning. My name, of course, is Michael John of Michael John Paranormal Ghost Stories. I am your co-ghost host, along with the man of the hour, the man of the power. He's too sweet to be sour, folks. His name, of course, is Dale. High spirits quickly. Together, we are the voice of the paranormal, the voice for the paranormal. Windsor, Ontario, proud. Windsor, Ontario's own, the Paranormal Voice. And welcome to a show that Dale and I are super duper excited to be a part of, to have an opportunity to interview not one, not two, not three, not four, five of our closest, dearest friends who've done so much for us in so many ways. Along our journey, they are the entire cast of a show that's taken off like gangbusters, and it is called The Voices of Contact. That's every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch it live stream here on Facebook. On what is the YouTube channel, Dale?
Mystical Awakenings YouTube page.
Yes, Mystical Awakenings YouTube page. I don't want to butcher it. I didn't want to reverse and say it wrong. But yes, oh my God, from episode 1 to where they're at now, and like I said, it's just soaring. And what happens there if you've been sleeping under a rock and you haven't caught one episode of The Voice of Contact? What they do on that show is they do what's called a past life regression, a la Mary Bassett, who's a sweetheart. That's a whole other. You could talk about her for an hour alone, like each and every individual of the cast here. Mary Bassett puts experiencers who've been contacted, gone through some serious, heavy ordeals with the galactics, with aliens, however it resonates with you. You get my point. But without further ado, I want to get Mary Bassett on, Deb and RJ DeRoos, Reverend Michael Carter, and Bill Konkolowski, the Voices of Contact. Oh my God, thank you all for being here.
We definitely got a full house tonight.
Yes,
like
thank
Brady
you for
Bunch.
having us.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm back at the family reunion. We just got the UFO Contact Convention just started right now. That's it. Let's get the convention party started right now, folks. This is what it's all about.
We're so happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Thanks.
And what I wanted to say when we were backstage, I said I wanted to hold out because it's coming from myself and from Dale. Dale's going to share his own, of course, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. But I mean, it's you. All of you are so near and dear to us as part of our journey. You've all done so much for us in so many ways. I could kill 2 hours explaining each and every one of you what you've done and in what ways. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is you have allowed us, myself and Dale, and like family, and you've opened doors for us that would have never been opened if it wasn't for your generosity. And you do that with so many people in the para family, in the paranormal connection, if you will. I see it all the time. I'm getting goosebumps because thank you so much. And we're so proud of you and what all of you have accomplished with your show, The Voice of Contact. It's exploding like crazy. Every time I tune in, like I can't keep up with the comments. It's just like this crazy rolling credits. I don't know how you do it, but bravo.
Well, thank you. But before we get started, I want to thank both of you for being major contributions, making major contributions to our show. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a blessing for, like Michael John said, we're truly grateful and blessed to be able to do what we're doing and to be able to lend a helping hand where we can into all other projects that are out there. It's like a good friend of ours, Sarah Jane from Get Haunted, Paranormally Blonde, says, the sandbox is big enough for us all to play in. And you know what? We're all here for each other. And it's so grateful to know each and every one of you like so well. Like it's no longer friends. Like we're brothers and sisters. And you know, it shows when we're all together in the same room together how much grateful we are for what you guys do. And the show, like I said, from day one to like the new episode that's just coming out this Friday. Like I said, every episode, I'm new to the UFO community. Thank you to all you guys for teaching me what I've known so far. So, and this is why I enjoyed the show, because it is filled with knowledge. So, like I said, thank you. So, I don't know who wants to take this first question, but how did the concept come about to do this type of show?
Well,
Mother
first
Mary.
of all, it's the lady right up there.
Everybody's
all
going
her,
this way, that way.
this is her idea.
Oh,
Mother
I gotta
Mary
go
gave
first
birth
then.
to this.
Well,
Great.
I was on my way to work and I just started getting downloads. And I had been thinking about it for a while of, some kind of concept with doing some kind of live regression. Then all of a sudden I was on my way to work and I started getting this download of doing the regressions that I've done with experiencers. And then I started getting all these people that I was supposed to contact and see if they would do the show with me. So I contacted Bill and Deb, probably drove them crazy for like a couple of days. And I was like, okay, just hear me out. Let me put it out there. So fortunately enough, they were willing to all do the show with me, because without them, really, I'm the regressor, yes, but I'm not allowed to call them experts, so I won't. Whatever. But with the experience they've had and the knowledge that they have, they really add to what this person what they experienced. Really, I can give them a little bit of feedback, but to have 4 different takes of a single experience, that person gets to take away so much from that regression that it's really healing and life-changing. And that's what the show really is all about, is kind of delving in, going deep, finding different answers, different perspectives, and getting real answers.
Absolutely. And I know just from knowing the whole panel is like everybody's had a totally different experience when it comes to their experience with Galactics or the alien family. I don't know who would like to start and talk about their first, basically their first experience.
I could jump
Just
in,
for
I guess.
people who's probably not seen or know who you guys are, I would love to give them a little bit of a background to say, this is where they're coming from.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, for me, I often say UFOs took an interest in me before I took an interest in them. My first experiences of age 2, I was a little guy in my crib. It was late. It was nighttime. I hadn't yet fallen asleep when a little gray guy came in and with big black eyes, stared at me down over the arms of my crib, was there for several moments. I screamed for my mother in the next room, my parents, and my mother responded, go back to sleep, go back to sleep. And I hadn't even fallen asleep yet. And then after a moment, the thing just walked out of my room. I had the feeling it went to my brother's rooms because I had older brothers who also have experiences, but I don't know. And then I had more experiences at age 4, 7, 9, 10, and then it really lit up in my teens and early 20s. So yeah, it's been with me my whole life. I'm just blessed to be able to, that there's a community of people to share and to listen to and to be able to hear their stories. I mean, that's what keeps things going.
Yeah, I want to say very quickly though, that I think that's the beauty of the show. I know that wasn't the question, but and Bill hosts another once a month meeting. I think a MUFON meeting that is experiencers talking to other experiencers. you know, when I 25 years ago, the experiences were being interpreted, which was fine, but it was being interpreted by people who did not have the experience. And so I think that's the beauty of the show. I think that's what Bill is doing and what's going on all over. More experiencers are finding their voices, not being, we're not worrying about being ridiculed. This is what happened to me. And so I sometimes I say that 2023 is going to be the year of the experiencer. I mean, 2023 onward, that we're being taken seriously. We take ourselves seriously. We're not hiding anymore. I think that's what's crucial to this experiment that we're doing.
Absolutely. Just before next one speaks, I just want to acknowledge some of the people that are tuning in and watching us right now. We have my own mother, Jeanette. Hello,
My
Mom.
mother, too.
Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Mom.
We got Mr. Rob Simpson tuning in. We have Mr. Jim Martin tuning in. Jim, thank you for tuning into the show. We have Chris and Bob.
Chris and Bob.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And then we have Miss Sarah Pauly tuning in. Hello, Sarah. It was great to spend the weekend with Mary, Sarah, and I can't remember her friend's name for the life of me. I'm sorry about that, but it was a great weekend hanging out with those guys. And who else do we have? We have that's it. Oh, we have Miss Carol Patterson. So we have Michael's mom and my mom. So we get the mothers here, so we better be on our best behavior.
No.
This is pressure. So, I'm sorry. So before we got interrupted, I mean, I would have to agree with Michael Carter about having a place where you can go and talk about whatever it is that you think you've been through and not be judged whatsoever. And I think that is important to anybody, because it's scary enough to think that I would believe nobody would believe they're alone in any type of experience that they've had at this point. But at the same time, where do you go and talk about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something healing about seeing someone else's face, either while you're talking about your experience or vice versa. And it allows, I think, even with the most positive experiences, if they're interpreted that way, there's a healing that can take place. So it's just been wonderful, at least for me, to be a part of.
And it's what's interesting when you say that about having a platform or a safe space. It's
to let
it out. Oh my God! Like at the UFO contact convention, that's where I cut my teeth, like Dale, in Houghton Lake. There, you guys gave the crowd, the people there in the seminar room, a chance. If you think you've had an experience, even if you're not sure, if you want, put your hand up and we'll come over and you can speak into the microphone and share with the room what you think. And the panel will let you know their thoughts, which was incredible. And so I mean, I've had, I'm not, without getting into, I mean, that's where I learned that I'm an experiencer myself. Mm-hmm. And I shared my story, and it was unique, like everyone's, of course. And even then I wasn't sure, but this is where Michael Carter became my friend. He came up to me after and he said, Michael, do you know you're an experiencer? You had an experience.
I remember that. I remember.
It was a very pivotal point. So, but my point is, I mean, what a moment for me. And thank you, Michael. But anybody out there listening right now, if you think you have some sort of an encounter or an experience, reach out to one of these awesome people, even on Facebook, on some platform at the very least, or if you're fortunate enough, you can get to one of these conventions where they're at. My God, go up there, shake your hand, introduce yourself. They're going to listen to your story. They have, like I said, Dale and I have been blessed with the fact that you guys are like family, and you open your arms almost instantaneously to anyone, the experiencers, bottom line, every one of you. And that's what it's about. It's because it's you're vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what my point I'm trying to get across. And then going to your show, The Voice of Contact, Talk about leveling up to vulnerability, past life regression. You're in a hypnosis regression. Talk about vulnerable on top of all that. And then, everybody here goes over what Mary's done, and they're like, okay, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. This is our thoughts. And it's so fascinating and interesting to get everybody's individual take on it.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Yes.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And it is amazing to find out how many people actually have had experiences. I mean, it's in the
Mhm.
millions. It's in the millions.
So many.
Yep.
Now, if you could share, I mean, whether it's one of your own personal stories, if you want, and we don't have to say names, obviously, we just say John Smith or whatever, or Mary Smith, obviously. One of the most compelling stories, if you wanted to share it, I would love to have each and every one of you take a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Say, okay, I had an individual that, the story was like this. Please, let's start with Bill, if you don't mind, Bill.
Sure. You're just looking, I guess, just to clarify, for a story that speaks to the nature of the conversation
Yeah,
that we're having today.
please.
I'm trying to think of something that happened to somebody else, because I think I've yapped about myself quite a bit. Gosh, something that happened to somebody. I feel like I'm on a game show. Something else.
Hollywood Squares.
Well, let's
that
tell our
I feel
audience.
that I can share without them
Sure.
feeling like I shared too much.
Okay.
Well, I'll. This is the one that's coming to mind. One of my mentors in this field was a gentleman by the name of David K. Wood. He was an experiencer. He lived in Dearborn, Michigan. He's passed now. He was a good friend, and I have different people in this area that have been strong mentors to me in one degree or another. He was somebody that was very open about his experiences, would go and speak publicly at libraries and things about his experiences. Wow. And one of the things that really got to me, that took things next level, was that he met another experiencer that the two of them had realized that they had met before, and through their independent contacts and the way that the world and synchronicities and everything work, they were brought together and they had shared remembered experiences. And that was one of the things to me that really took things next level, that the beings, I don't think it was coincidence when these things happen, when two people meet like this. I think it's intended. And the things that they did together, they wrote a book, they spoke, together. And yeah, it was really touching. And, I'm still friends with Landy, the other person that was involved. And yeah, to me, that level of raw openness to share that much, really, I have things that have happened to me that I'm still not ready to talk about. So I aspire to that level of openness in this field.
Wow. Thank you. Michael?
Yeah, I haven't thought about this in a long time. I had a friend when I was in undergraduate school. I went back to get my my BA and then my master's as an adult. Her name was Teresa. She was a very gifted psychic. She was, but she was also steeped in this really conservative, biblical Christian tradition. And we were in class one evening, and I was bored, and I started drawing a gray while the teacher was lecturing. I was just so bored with this. And she was sitting next to me, and she looked at what I was drawing, and she screamed. And the professor said, "Well, Mr. Carter, what's going on back there? Do you want to share it?" And so I crumpled my paper up, and I said, "No, I don't want to share it." And so we kind of, I don't know how we navigated it.
Yeah.
So she and I became friendly. And again, she was in this, and she did not even know about this except when she saw me draw that. She later said, I recognize that. So anyway, we became friendly. And she would come to my house once in a while to do um, uh, some Reiki sessions because I was doing Reiki then.
Okay.
And by this time, you know, she was a little more open with me, and she was telling me that she said, I see the people that you're drawing, I see them in this room while you're giving me this energy. And I was like, oh wow, really? And she said, yeah. She said, yeah. So anyway, you know, I kind of went with it. We did the session, and she left. She lived in New Jersey. I lived in Manhattan. And I can't explain it to you, but it was almost like 10 minutes. She was home. I said, call me when you get home. And she called me. It seemed like it had to be longer than that. But she said, oh yeah, there was no traffic. And this was like maybe 7 or 8 o'clock. I mean, of course there's traffic. It's New York City.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how'd you get home so quick? I mean, what? She said, Michael, there was no traffic. She said, you know what? I just followed that beautiful full moon home, and I was here in no time. And I said to Teresa, I said, there's no full moon tonight, Teresa.
Oh,
She said, I followed it home. I said, no, you know, check your calendar, check the astro. There's no full moon tonight. So when you were bringing that up and Bill was talking, that popped in my mind.
awesome. Thank you. Deb and RJ.
Wow. I mean, there's so many. You know, you guys listen to the show, so you know every single week we're hearing another story. Bill's experiences are phenomenal. Michael's, RJ's, mine, Dale's, Michael John's. There's so many incredible stories out there that for me, I'm just going to give you a little bit of me. So I have been an experiencer most of my life. I don't know how long. My first memory at this point is when I was about 12. But I was always in denial. Okay. In 2016, I was lucky enough to meet this man right here. And it wasn't too long. We had been dating for about 5 months, 6 months or something. We knew that, you know, this was it. When I had quite an experiencer. And that was really an experience. That was my awakening. It was huge for me. It was missing time. I became totally obsessed, totally, you know, I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to eat. I just wanted to know what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
And since then, I've had multiple, you know, memories, flashbacks, things like that, visitations. And I know I've had other experiences. I have not yet been regressed. But from the get-go, I guess I want to tell this because I kept quiet all those years thinking, I'm really weird. There's something wrong with me because I'm really weird. I have this missing time. And if I tell people, they're going to think I'm crazy. I can't talk about this. So I tried to stay away from it, not even discuss it. Thank goodness I was with somebody. And I think, you know, when Bill talks about two people coming together, and that's not a coincidence. I think that the reason we were together and I had that experience, as knowing as it was so that I could do exactly what I'm doing now, that we could do, all of us. This is all meant to be. And it is the year, as Michael says, of the experiencer. We want to make this more normal. Maybe we're the weirdos, but it's something that happens to us. Okay. And we should be able to talk about that openly and honestly and not feel terrible about it. So bless Mary and her downloads. for bringing this together.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we started the Michigan UFO Contact in 2017. And that it's been a real blessing to bring people together, to bring awareness and an awakening in a whole new way for people. But then I think, the Voices of Contact is really the icing on the cake,
Yeah.
because now people can tune in and hear not only someone being regressed and living through that, they see that it's not harming them, and that real live experiencers
Yes.
are talking and discussing what's going on. So, yeah, that's what I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. RJ.
Well,
Please.
there's many things that happen. Unlike Bill, as a child, took his visitations very well. I did not. I was scared immensely. There was small shadow figures walking in my room all the time, on my bed. I slept in my mom's room a lot because I was just scared. I could see them. And about 8 years old, I was walking down in the heart of Flint, Michigan, in the city. And, our rule was you have to be indoors when the streetlights come on. Well, I was outdoors for some reason, and I saw a UFO land in the intersection of Dartmouth and Detroit Street. And I hid behind the bushes. And I need to get regressed and figure this stuff out. But so Mary, we're probably going to do this. So that was, the childhood thing. I had a missing time experience backpacking when I was 19 years old up in northern Michigan. A friend was with me, and this orange light came out, bobbing up and down the trees and out in the river in front of me. During the day, the Air Force planes were flying so low, the big bombers, you couldn't talk. And this was in July. And then next thing I know, my buddy and I are laying on the ground looking at each other like, what happened? We don't remember leaving or whatever. So that was a documented case that happened in, Bill, it was October, I think. The Air Force Base these lights came in and shut down their nuclear weapons.
Yeah, October 30th, 75. Yep.
So
Yeah.
that was just part of it. And then, I got to the point where I just wanted to talk to him. We were doing an investigation in Everett, Michigan a few years back. And I was looking at the sky and I said, I know you're there. Come on, show me a sign. Just show me. And this little white dot just opened up. There was 10 of us there, opened up, huge, lit us all up. We saw the light and then right back down. So
Wow.
I just said, thank you. I've had many dreams. I've seen them in my meditations. And here we are, we're put on this UFO con and we meet all these beautiful people. And there's a reason behind it. So,
Yes.
So there is something going on out there. We're just trying to find the truth. And I'm just so happy that people share their stories.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Thank you.
Mary, please.
Well, all right. So I can never say that I've actually been taken. My first experience was back in 2019. And for me, it was more of a vision. And I was on a craft. I could see the white walls. I could see black windows. And there was a female being there. And she started showing me a timeline of everything that was about to happen. And she told me that big things were coming and a lot of things were going to change. And she showed me a huge shift. I didn't realize at the time what she was showing me was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I was always really interested in alien and ET beings way before that, completely obsessed. That got me a little bit more obsessed and more open-minded to it. The biggest thing I like about doing the regression work. So I'll use an example. One of my most recent regressions was this last weekend. And she wanted to regress to something that actually happened the week before. And she was lying in bed and she wasn't asleep. She had just got done watching Netflix, got bored, turned it off, was laying back, sat there for a minute. And all of a sudden she felt 2 hands on each of her arms. And all she really remembers is yelling out, "You're not going to take me." And then she heard a voice in her head say, "Open up your eyes." And so when she opened up her eyes and she looked over towards her window, she saw two shadow beings moving out the window. So that's kind of what we regressed on. And to get to that point, my favorite part of it was through the regression, she did get taken. Okay. And they took her to a craft, but then through that regression, they opened up a portal and they took her back to where she came from. So by the time we were done with the regression and we were talking about it afterwards, she realized, yeah, that freaked me out, laying in bed and feeling two hands on me. I was consciously aware of that. Fear-based freaked me out. I don't want to do that again. She went from that to realizing, wait a minute, that wasn't actually what happened. They took me and they were showing me other aspects of myself. So when she left, she didn't have any fear of that experience anymore. And she told me, she's like, I've lost sleep for the last week. I haven't been able to sleep. She goes, now I'm going to be able to sleep. And that for me is what the regression work is all about. Is sometimes it is fear-based, yes, but what if what you thought was fear, which is ego, right? And you tap into real subconscious information and you tap into the spiritual side of it and get your answers, and you can let go of that fear, because when you let go of the fear, you heal. And you become the whole person that you're meant to be.
Nice.
No, all very compelling.
Can I just jump in and say, as everybody knows, people refer to the internet as the cat repository, cat video repository. Well, Michael John has got that going on for this episode too, as well.
Oh yeah, they're busy. I'm sorry. Sorry for the distraction.
Well, a nice bonus.
Shit.
So maybe this question would be more geared towards Bill, but because like you work with MUFON so closely, so over this past year, have you noticed an increase in reports towards experiences?
Well, MUFON is interesting in that, okay, I'll give you the simple answer. Yes, it increases steadily every year. I don't know that this particular year, but the openness of the topic out there and the way that there are many more channels of being able to reach somebody, including myself and MUFON. Yes, we always see a steady increase. MUFON is unique, what I was about to say before, in that we have sort of a two-lane setup where the majority of our investigators look at raw sightings, and then we have another separate group, the Experiencer Resource Team, that looks at experiencers and their accounts and their stories. And so there's always somebody here to talk to, and in particular, I always say the best thing for an experiencer is to talk to another experiencer. So I'm always open to have a direct one-on-one conversation, or point people to other people in the community, or have them participate in one of our group discussions. I do think the numbers are increasing slowly, steadily. I think the numbers are increasing because people are more open to sharing, maybe more than there are more encounters happening, but it's hard to say. And I definitely see that as a positive thing when more people want to talk about what's been going on with them.
Oh, thank you. And I think probably more and more with the show Voices of Contact being out there, and people realizing that there is a safe place to come and talk about whatever it is like they think happened, or even just to get it off their chest, because it might not have been too much, but at least they're talking about it, and it's probably less traumatizing to them if they can just talk about it. And I mean, I know the number one thing of healing in any situation is if you can talk about it, you can heal from it.
Yeah, let me just tack on here. I've received some pokes over the episodes that we've had that I seem rather stoic on the show. That I just have just this quiet, but I do it out of complete respect for these people sharing their stories. I mean, what a huge step to have your story shared in a format like this, even though, of course, there's the confidentiality of the people that are on the program. And, as fun or as interesting as the stories are to us, for them, they might be terrifying. It's hard to say what's going through their mind when they hear themselves broadcast on a podcast. And I'm just doing my best to share what I can and give them as much respect as possible. So usually I'm fairly quiet, the whole show.
That's funny. Yeah, because we like we like to keep the show lighthearted. Sometimes we like to keep it. It's not all serious, but we, like Bill said, we totally respect these people and their experiences because we don't know what it meant to them. So, and we absolutely mean no disrespect in any way to anybody. We respect everybody's coming out and letting this happen, letting their interview, their regression happen, and we appreciate it. So, there's on Fridays in our UFO conference, there's a 2-hour session that we have. People get up and tell their stories. Like Michael, you were a part of that.
Michael and Bill both.
Yeah, well, and then these two gentlemen below here, Bill and Reverend Carter, are on the panel, and so it's really cool to get people to get up there. They feel comfortable to say their story. We had one gentleman, was very elderly gentleman. He'd never told his story in about 70 years, 67 years, and finally he got to say something. And so yeah, I think, like Reverend Carter said, this is the year of the experiencer, and here on out, because people are coming out. Like Bill said, they're more comfortable with it, and it's just so nice to hear these stories and have them finally get some relief or some feedback and whatever.
Yeah, it's like a catharsis
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think that it was very interesting, Mary's download of who to bring onto the show, because it seems to work so well with the team that we have.
Yes.
Everybody has a little different take on things. I'm more of the empath, so I get emotional. But I think that's really what makes it work so well, is we're not the same. We're all a little bit different. And that's what people need to hear, is different sides of what has happened to them.
No, there's definitely a lot of spice, if you will, on everybody's individual takes on these regressions, and I think that's what really, makes your show what it is, so special, because you all have your own individual takes on it. You're experiencers, but from every experiencer is so unique with their stories, and you guys are no different, but you bring that to the table, and that's what makes the show so compelling and so captivating. I mean, the voice of contact, you had your first episode. How many episodes are you at now?
We're
13,
getting
Mary?
ready to air 14 this Friday at 8 p.m.
Wow.
A Mystical Awakenings podcast.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, with the V, Mystical Awakenings podcast.
And there's no sign of slowing down. It's just higher and higher you guys go. And I mean, Dale and I are some of your biggest cheerleaders, and we're, like I said earlier, I mean, we're so proud of you. And we just love watching every week you're bringing it, and it's different. And there's more people commenting. You're getting more viewers. It's growing and growing, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Now, what do you guys hope to see? Maybe, up the road. I mean, you must have some ideas. If you can share them, you can, or little nuggets, if you will. I like to say, how are we going to see it grow? What are your plans for bigger and better, if you will?
That's a
I
great
just want to
question.
change lives. I just want, maybe if it's just one regression that someone could connect with and they
Yeah.
share it with somebody else, anything, just that life changing, opening up people's eyes. That's where I want it to go, is to give people a safe spot to know that they're not alone.
Right. Yeah, I'm totally with Mary, and I feel that, we are very, I want to say higher spiritual led, as far as, Mary had this download. She let us
Yep.
know she had the download. Will you guys be a part of this? Absolutely, because we all have that passion to help.
Yeah.
So I think that instead of going, oh, we're going to do this and make money, and that's not what we're doing here.
Right.
We will be led to where we need to be. And as far as, we just want to help.
Yep.
We want this to become okay.
Yeah, I agree. I remember I used to go to Marianne Williamson's lectures in New York when I was studying A Course in Miracles. And obviously, this was before Marianne became Marianne, Oprah and a little bit. But I remember her saying that if you have something to truly say, there's always going to be someone who truly needs to hear it. And so I think those things will kind of take care of themselves with the intentionality that we put out to serve. And whatever needs to happen, whether it's picked up, whether there's money involved, whether it expands in different ways, that'll be taken care of as long as the intentionality is there. And I mean, and that may not happen, but as our intentions are to serve, and so whatever needs to happen will happen after that.
I totally agree. I mean, what you guys do, and you can see it each and every week doing your show, is the passion you guys have for helping everybody out there who has had any type of experience. And to me, that's worth than all the money in the world, is to show that you have passion, and that anybody who knows you guys are all truly love what you guys do. And that is what really is the community is all about. It's not about making a dollar. It's about helping somebody who doesn't know how to help themselves. And that speaks volumes to anybody around the world, that, it costs nothing to help or even to listen.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you guys do, and it shows each and every week on your show, the passion you guys have to helping whoever it is that week who's willing to get out there and let their story be told in a nice, gentle way. With that, my question for Mary is, after somebody knows their show has been aired, do they ever contact you back and talk about what the panel has said and their thoughts on it?
Nice.
They do. I think my favorite one was somebody had regressed several times, and each time I would regress them, they'd say, well, don't you think you could just try to take me just a little bit deeper? And I kept on telling them, you are going deep. And so I always send a recording home with the person I regressed. So I think like the first show, not our first show, but one of the first ones that I played of them, they contacted me right after and said, I don't remember any of that. I'm like, you didn't listen to your recording. So they then realized they were going deep because they absolutely remembered nothing of it. So of course they came back because they wanted to delve deeper. So yeah, typically quite often they do. And just like the Palladian one, she really appreciated all the feedback. And she said she really agreed with what everybody said, and it gave her a different perspective of what her experience really was. So she's doing more research and delving deeper into that.
Yeah, and I want to tell our audience, when we do these shows, it's usually a couple shows for one person, but every couple of weeks you're hearing something different, which is pretty unique. You hear certain stories, but this is unique because you're hearing several people had several experiences, and they're not all the same, but there's similarities in there.
Yes.
And we're not experts, but we just try to put our best foot forward on these regressions and tell from the heart what we think and in our own experiences. So, but it's kind of cool because you get to listen to real people who
Yep.
have had these experiences. And Mary, she does a really unique thing by she not only talks to the person, but she goes to their higher self, I would say. And you can see the changes in the voice, and you can see the changes in what's going on. And that's pretty unique to me. I like that.
Absolutely. No, like I said, it's you guys definitely, and that was the always, every time I watch the show, I always think, what that person is thinking about what you guys are saying and how much that resonates with them as well. So, I mean, it's amazing to be able to, like you said, get knowledge from other experiencers, because none of you guys had the same experience. So it's really, truly interesting. So, like I said, I can only see the sky's the limit for what you guys are doing, because it grows each and every week with the attendance, like even seeing the viewerships.
That's good to know. That's really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I know everybody. So we'll talk a little bit about the UFO Contact Convention that's coming up this September. Holt Lake Mission, 22nd, 23rd. Those numbers are jumping into my head.
You got it.
And I know pretty well everybody that's going to be here on the show with us right now is going to be there.
Right.
So I mean that's always exciting in itself. So if anybody who's watching us right now, if you've not gotten your tickets for this year's UFO Contact Convention in Holt Lake, Michigan, I would suggest you head over to the website as soon as you possibly can and get yourself a ticket to join in and listen to these amazing people throughout the weekend, because I'll tell you, it was a blast for me and Michael John last year. We had so much fun, and the experiences that we had, I don't know. Well, I mean, a few of them could have been alien related, but I mean, it was just a blast to sit around with everybody and listen and take it all in, because I'll tell you, the event you guys put on is truly amazing.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the UFO Contact Convention and maybe some more of the guests that are going to be there that we know of?
Absolutely. Well, we'd love to. We're really happy, really, really happy that this year again, Reverend Michael Carter will be joining us. He came last year for the first time, and
It was great.
to meet this man is to
It was
love
great.
him.
Oh,
Everybody just
Wow.
really,
thank you. Sarah.
Michael, you talk to people.
Right.
You don't talk at them, you talk with people, I should say, because you read so many people, like Michael John was saying, people relate with you because you make it personal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bill, same thing. Bill just has that very down to earth personality. He knows the field inside and out. He's dealt with many, he's been the Michigan director of MUFON for forever.
How long, Bill?
Since
16
2004.
years.
Okay.
So that's 19, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Long time. So, I mean, he's so knowledgeable, and it's, we're blessed to have him every year. And not the poor guy doesn't get a break because he comes to speak. And of course, because he has all this experience, I kind of force him onto the experiencer panel. And he, Bill doesn't say no, he does it. And that's on Friday. And then Saturday, he gets up early and he does a MUFON field investigator training. And that's for anybody that has a ticket. So he does that and then he speaks. Last year, on top of all that, he was also regressed live in front of the whole place. Every attendee there I got to see by our beautiful Mama Mary. So we had the live regression. So poor Bill.
And he also gave me a 2-hour lift from the airport.
He did.
We'll see the giant tire next time, I swear. But
Yeah.
so what I thought was
And
funny
he sells
about
the tickets as well. And he
and that book sale last year was off the hook. But so anyway, so what I thought was really funny about the last conference was it started with Mary regressing me. Then we did the experiencer panel, and then I did my personal presentation. So I'm like, this is really funny. I started off this conference laying down, then I got to sit down, and now I'm standing.
Moving on up.
Yeah.
We try to take it easy on
He
you.
was a slacker. He didn't do enough.
We try to take it easy on you.
So so we're so blessed to have both of these guys.
Right.
And this year, Mary Bassett, Mama Mary, will be joining us as
Yes.
well. Very possibly doing a regression. We'll see.
Oh, wow.
And also speaking. Yay. So I'm really excited about that. And we've discussed that we, as the voices of contact, we need to do something together for the people there too.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And then, of course, we have the beautiful Andrea Perrin,
Oh,
who will
God.
be there again this year.
Amazing.
Yep. Everybody loves Annie. She's very loved. John Tenney, who is just,
Stop.
you-
Oh, my God.
you could listen to this man talk about popcorn and be excited. I mean, he is that cool.
That is the truth right there. That is so true.
Yeah, it really is. Amber Rose Hammond is going to be there for the very first time. She does some, she's an author in Michigan and does some weird Michigan things. So she's going to fit right in. Who else do we have? Oh, my
Preston
God.
Dennis.
Well, I won't mention, somebody kind of couldn't make it, and I won't mention names, but we're working on somebody else, and just keep tuned.
Yeah, that one, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm missing people and I feel terrible,
Well,
but that happens.
yeah.
So where do they
But
go again? Go to what's the website?
So if you go to miufocon.com, that's our website. We can also be found on Facebook, Michigan UFO Contact.
Yep.
Or people can contact us and find out how. We have tickets for sale on Ticket Leap, and it's posted not only on our Facebook event page, but also miufocon.com.
Now it's
That's
very
also-
important if you want to
Also
go.
next rooms.
Yeah, if you want to go there and stay there for the weekend, it's very important that you tell them. If you just tell them I want to stay there that weekend, they're going to tell you it's full because it's full for the UFO people.
Yes.
You got to tell them you want to attend the conference, and they
Okay.
will hook you up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you don't say you're going to, it's for the Michigan UFO Contact, you won't get a room because it's, the whole place is booked with people for the conference. And, it's a unique conference because it's not, you see these, and I'm not going to name any, but, some of them are so dry and we're just going to give you the facts.
Right.
And then there's some who kind of really make fun of aliens, and it's more of a party, and we kind of fall somewhere in between that. We
Yeah.
want facts. We want people to
Yes.
know
Yeah.
what we know, what others know. That's that's so important. But we also want speakers who
Spiritual.
are approachable
That's true.
and who are
Yeah.
maybe a little more spiritual, but a little more open.
Yeah.
To
So we try to mix it together,
Yeah.
nuts and bolts and the spiritual part of it, and so
Yeah.
everybody gets a little bit of it, and so it works out. Anyway, they do all the work, so we don't.
one of my favorite
Oh,
people
yeah.
is Deb Jordan Cobble. How do we say her name, Bill? Is
Yeah,
it
Cobble.
She is totally amazing. And I love this woman to pieces. So knowledgeable with her experiences. And she's a very down-to-earth experiencer who's so willing to share her stories.
Yeah, she
and
was
she
featured
will-
in not only Bud Hopkins' book Intruders, but she also makes an appearance in Whitley Strieber's Communion. So
Right. Yep. She's phenomenal. And this will be her first time there. So I'm really excited about that.
Did you ever meet her, Michael, in your group?
In New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She reminded me of it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. We also have Brad Blair and Tim Ellis, who put on the Michigan Paracon.
Yep.
Yep. And they are authors about, hauntings and weird things happening. There's, they know about, they interview a lot of people who have had sightings.
Yep.
They have had sightings.
Especially in the UP.
Yeah, the UP is,
Upper Peninsula. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty hot.
So, we try to mix some local people in here and try to get, because we have a map that we put up in the conference of Michigan and the United States, and you get to go up and put your sighting where it's at. So we're starting to see some patterns here.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They're everywhere.
Oh my God. So that is the Voices of Contact every Friday night, like clockwork, 8 p.m. Eastern time, growing more and more. And I can't say enough how proud Dale and I are of all of you. It's an honor and a privilege to have you guys on together on our show for one night, because if it wasn't for great guests like you and great friends like you, we can't do what we do and get to be who we be. We don't get to be and do what we do. Right. And that's it. And we love you all so much. I want to say thank you so much to the entire TPV Nation, of course, for tuning in and watching our friends from the Voice of Contact, Mary, Deb, and RJ, Bill, and Michael. Dale, what do you want to wrap it up with, brother, please?
Like I said, we love all you guys so much, and it's great to be able to have this opportunity to sit down, talk with you guys about this amazing show you guys have put all together. Like I said, you see it each and every week. The passion and what you guys do is just so mind-blowing that, nothing but love for all you guys. We look forward to seeing you each and every week, Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So check these guys out, and if at all costs, get your butts up to the UFO Contact Convention in Holt Lake, Michigan. You get to sit down and meet each and one of these amazing people, and you'll see just what makes them even more amazing in person, because they're amazing. Like I said, I cannot say enough good things about each one of these people, and I'm looking forward to September. I don't want the summer to go by too quick, because I love my summertime, but I look forward to September, hanging out with you guys, sharing some drinks, talking stories like we were last year. I think the hot topic was the Dog Man and Bigfoot fight, which was absolutely hilarious. But like I said, I want to say thank you all for coming on, taking times out of your busy schedules, and to join us here. And I look forward to September. So everybody, once the show's done, head over to the UFO Contact website, get your tickets, serve your hotel room, and join each one of these amazing folks.
Thank you for having
Thank
us
you.
on, and thank you
all.
both
Thank
for
you
being a
Thank
part.
you.
Love all you
of the
guys.
Voices
Love
of
all you guys.
Contact. Yes, we love you.
And with that, we're going to see everybody else. TPV Nation, Windsor, Ontario's own The Paranormal Voice. We will see you on the other side. But in the meantime, and in between time, 1, 2, 3, Dale, happy haunting.
Happy hauntings.